We are over at Notebook Check, which is reporting that the PlayStation 6 and the PlayStation Handheld are still on track for holiday 2027, according to various leakers. So the big part we want to zoom in on here, that is, according to a new claim from industry leaker Kepler L2, both the PlayStation 6 and the Sony's rumoured PlayStation Handheld are still targeting holiday 2027 release window. The claim was shared during a discussion on the NeoGAF forums, where the leaker suggested that the timeline has not changed despite the current market conditions, which is like this memory crisis where AI is hoovering up all the memory, storage memory, all the RAM, and then all these tariffs that are being implemented all over the world. So the plan still seems to be for holiday 2027. So we've got about a year and a half or more, and then next gen consoles arriving. I'm excited for this new handheld because I feel we've not had anything like that from, since the Vita, but this does seem really soon for the console. I feel like the PS5, and I have a PS5 Pro as well, is just like getting into its stride. And then a new console, I can see a lot of people sticking with their PS5s and their PS5 Pros, especially if this thing is mega expensive, which fingers crossed it's not, but don't be surprised if this new console and the handheld are round about $800 each. It's just wild. The article also says this is interesting because a previous report from Bloomberg indicated that the company was considering pushing the launch of the next PlayStation console to 2028 or even 2029 due to the ongoing memory shortage. However, Kepler L2 claims that Sony and Microsoft are still aiming for the same time frame for the PlayStation Handheld, PS6 and Project Helix. This information also lines up with a previous report from Moore's Law is Dead, who said that Sony is unlikely to delay the next PlayStation console too far into the future, as delaying the console could actually end up costing the company more money than launching it on time. He mentioned the console would almost certainly launch in 2027, with early 2028 being the latest realistic window rather than 2029. And what they mean there by it costing them more to delay it than launching it on time is they've got contracts with these big suppliers for the hardware for these systems, and if they move the dates out, I guess that constitutes some sort of breach of contract, or there's penalties for moving the dates, which would cost Sony a lot of money, and they wouldn't actually be then in a position to sell anything versus selling it at a more expensive price, which unfortunately, they'd probably pass on to us gamers to pick up the bill, or maybe they would swallow some of the price themselves to get the hardware out there at a decent price point, and then try and claw back some of that via, game sales, game prices, via PS Plus. You better believe they'll raise the price on PlayStation Plus again, and then other features as well, maybe accessories and stuff like that. But this is good news if you're excited for new hardware. I'm excited for the handheld, the actual new console itself. I wouldn't mind if it was delayed to 2028 or 2029. I do love new gadgets, and I'd be picking these up, as I just couldn't help myself. I just love getting new gadgets and new hardware. But I don't feel like I'm missing anything with the PS5. My main things I play on is the PS5 Pro and my Portal. I don't feel like I'm missing anything just now with the PS5 Pro. I feel like developers could still get a heck of a lot more out of it than they already are. Some of the games which do look amazing are just absolutely spectacular. I'm happy with visuals we had on the PS3 and Xbox 360 era. I'd rather the game was really good than it just looking really good, because if a game looks amazing but it's absolute garbage, it doesn't make a difference. It's about the experience, the storytelling, the gameplay loop. All of these things are way more important than the visuals. So who knows if there's anything else they're going to do with the PlayStation 6 experience which makes it stand out or differentiate it from the PS5. But I think this is genuinely a bit of a hard sell right now, especially given the state of the world with the price of everything going crazy. people's disposable income for buying, fun things and treats like this is diminishing. So I don't know what Sony's got up their sleeve. And if they go and release a PS6 home console and a handheld at the same time, they're also possibly cannibalizing their own sales, because people will probably only be able to pick or afford one unless they're lucky and in a position to buy both, if they want both, that is. Or they might want neither because they're happy with their PS5. Lots of interesting things on the horizon with new hardware. So let me know what you think about this. Do you think Sony would be cool with delaying it? I think a lot of you would be. But then there's the other factor of Xbox with this Project Helix, which is basically a gaming PC. Xbox is just bowing out of the console, the legit, dedicated console world now, and is going full PC, it looks like. Is that maybe twisting Sony's arm a little bit as well, because they don't want to have, this Xbox branded PC out there, which is going to be more powerful than the PlayStation and so on and so forth? I know that doesn't really matter, because the Series X, when it launched, was more powerful than the PS5. That didn't end up making any noticeable difference. And the hardware, jumps these days between generations doesn't seem to make that much difference visually, especially with all the upscaling and stuff like that. Sounding like the Xbox Project Helix will be more powerful than the PS6. It will also be a lot more expensive. But are you going to actually notice it, naked eye, without, pixel peeping and zooming right in and doing detailed analysis like Digital Foundry style? Possibly not. So I'm curious to see what happens here. Let's see what happens with the dates. I will just say I'm cool with the PS5 Pro right now. I'm really happy with it. It's an amazing device. I would be excited to get my hands on the handheld though, sooner rather than later. Holiday 2027 for the handheld launch. That sounds good to me. And then further down the line, maybe get a new PS6 home console. That sounds like the best option to me. But let me know what you think down below. Are you interested in any of these, or would you just want to stick with your PS5?